Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Pete's CD and Vinyl World. Today I have some VCLT and have a pretty big yard sale score that I got today. So I wasn't originally going to make a video today, but figured I would since I got all these albums. First, VCLT. This is from Redco. Red sent me these a few weeks ago. So one of my first videos, I was talking about, I forgot what video it was, but I mentioned that I didn't actually have a copy of Fleetwood Mac Rumors. This was one of the albums I had probably sold about half my collection sometime in the 90s, and this was just one of them. And never replaced it. I have like a CD compilation of their best hits, and I just had never replaced it. So he mentioned to me, oh, I'll send you a copy because I have an extra copy. And he also sent me a couple others, which are really cool. First thing was a Greek pressing of Abbey Road. And you notice here, the lines in the road kind of look pinkish. So I looked online, and apparently what they did in Greece is they just photocopied a copy of the French pressing. And I guess when they copied the color, got messed up, and that turned out to be pink. But that is the way the pressing is. And the third one he sent me was Styx Cornerstone, which is pretty cool because I had some of their cassettes in the 80s. Again, I never had replaced any of them on CD or vinyl. This is the one with Babe, sort of like the one that they're transitioning into more pop, but there's still some proggish stuff on here. Borrowed Time, I think, is the best song on here. But yeah, I do want to get all the Styx albums, at least through like the time that they broke up, I guess. So today, I noticed on Facebook, the yard sale group, there was a guy selling a bunch of records. And I've known that this guy has posted stuff before. He usually posts actually just music memorabilia, shirts, and tour programs, things like that. But I think yesterday he posted that he showed a picture of all these records, and he listed $5 each or whatever. So I messaged him yesterday, and I was like, well, what's the overall condition? And he's like, well, some of them are kind of rough, but whatever, you could take a look. So today I went by. He was only like 5 minutes away. And, you know, I've been itching to go record shopping because I'm in New Jersey, so everything is still closed. I've ordered a couple things on eBay, but that's not the same as, like, going to find it in a store and everything. But anyway, turns out I got, like, over 20 albums from this guy. So, first one I got, Yes Songs. Albums are like almost unplayed. There's a little bit of wear on the cover, but good shape overall. David Live, David Bowie. Again, the records themselves look unplayed. Actually, this is not my first David Bowie album, but it's the only one I own currently. I used to have some of his older albums on cassette in the 80s. Again, I never replaced anything on CD or vinyl. So I would like to start. So I'm assuming this is a good start. Next one, Todd Rundgren, Something Anything. I know some of the songs on here. I don't have any of his other albums, so I just wanted to pick this up and get into it. I did notice, though, I looked online, it is missing like a lyric sheet that came with it or whatever. Yeah, so I spent the last few hours cleaning all these, putting them in Mo5 sleeves. So it took a while to do that. But they're all pretty good shape. Next one is the soundtrack to Quadrophenia from The Who. This came out in '79, so I believe most of the tracks are from Quadrophenia, but there's actually a couple songs that they recorded new for this with Kenny Jones on drum, Four Faces and Joker Games. And then side 4 has some classic 50s songs, I believe, or 60 songs. Louie Louie, Green Onions, He's So Fine. So, always wanted to get this. Next one is The Who, Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy. It's just a compilation of their 60s singles. And normally I wouldn't have got it, but this was one of the first cassettes from The Who I had in the 80s, and I had never replaced this, so I always like the cover. It's like them looking out at themselves as kids, I guess. But it's a good compilation. I know The Who have had a ton of compilations, but this one just has their 60s songs, and the last song, or the latest song on here is Pinball Wizard. So. Continuing with the Who theme, a copy of Live at Leeds with all the inserts and posters and everything. Album's not perfect, but, you know, I have this on CD, the expanded one from the 90s, one of my favorite live albums, but it's nice to get the original album with all the inserts and everything. Next one, Cream Goodbye, their last album. Has the poster and everything. Next one, Kiss Alive. Didn't have this one on vinyl. This is a Casablanca Filmworks pressing, which means, so this originally came out in 75. It had the blue Casablanca label. These have the Filmworks label, which I believe started in 77. So it does not say Polygram on it, because Polygram bought Casablanca in 1980. So I know this pressing came out between 1977 and 1980. So you can date the Kiss albums that way. So, awesome. Next one is Ace Frehley, Frehley's Comet. This is his second album. Have it on CD, but I never, you don't see it on vinyl too often now, and most of this guy's albums were from the 60s and 70s, but this one was there, so glad it was there. Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll. Again, I don't have too many Stones albums, so it's nice to start somewhere. John Lennon, Live Piece in Toronto. It's actually a French pressing, which is kind of odd. And I don't know which it is, but it says stereo and mono. So, you know what? Maybe it's the second size, because isn't the second side like a speech or something like that? I don't know. John Lennon, Plastic Ono Band. This was pretty cool. A Beatles, Meet the Beatles in mono. Not in great condition, but the cover's in pretty good condition. This surprised me here. The punch out. I mean, was this a cutout at some point? Really? Maybe when the stereo ones came out, they cut out the mono ones? But Led Zeppelin, In Through the Outdoor. I didn't have this on vinyl. Not probably my least favorite Zeppelin album, but the vinyl itself looks almost unplayed, so I had to get it. Mountain, Nantucket Sleigh Ride. I believe this is their second album, but it's their third if you count the Leslie West Mountain album as their first. But Paul McCartney. Band called Detective. Signed to Led Zeppelin's Swan Song label. I don't know how many albums they put out. I've heard of them. This one's in the shrink, and the album was basically unplayed, so I figured I'd pick it up. Michael DeBars was the singer. Let's see. Produced by Andy Johns. Well, never have seen these albums, so I figured I'd get that. The Move. Split Ends. Jeff Lynne's pre-ELO band. This one's got Do Ya and California Man, which was covered by Cheap Trick on Heaven Tonight. So I've heard bits and pieces of them, but figured I'd pick this up. Magic Christian Music by Badfinger. This has Come and Get It, written by Paul McCartney on it. Don't know really any of the other songs, but The vinyl was like mint. Sweet Level Headed. This one has Your Love Is Like Oxygen. And Desolation Boulevard. These two Sweet albums were like dead mint, so very happy to get these. And finally, sorry about that. Finally, Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Looks like an original pressing in the shrink. Vinyl was pretty good too. So, never had that one on vinyl, so I'm glad I did. Anyway, he had his ad listed for these albums listed $5 each or whatever, so I got like 22 or 23 of them. So, you know, it would have been like, I guess like $100 or so. So, he actually took 60 for them, which I'm very happy with. So it averages about $3 an album. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Did I get a good deal or not? Anyway, happy Memorial Day, everyone. And hopefully talk to you guys soon. Thanks.